चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रमन्तं स्थितं वापि गुञ्जनां वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्ति आत्मनि अवस्थितं यतन्तोऽपि अकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्ति असेचतशः यत् आदित्यागतं तेजो जगत्पाशयते अखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गम अविश्य च भूतानि धारयामि अहम् ओजसा पुष्णामि चौषाधिः सर्वः सोमो भूतो रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनं देहमाश्रितः प्राणपानसमायुक्ता पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधं सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मता स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत् वेदविद् एव चाहम् द्वाइमौ पुरुषौ लोके शरश्चक्षर एव च शरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कुतक्षर उच्यते उत्तम पुरुषस्त्वन्य परमात्मेति उदारतः यो लोकोत्रयम् अविश्य बिभर्ति अव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरम् अतीतोऽहम् अक्षरात् अपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतीता पुरुषोत्तमः. Can you move the screen, Mataji? योमम् एवम् अशामोदो जानति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्ववित् भजते मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यं तमं शास्त्रम् इदम् उक्तं मया नघ एतत् भूत्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत. ओम तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवत् गीतास्तु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पंचदशोऽध्यायः. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Revati Mataji, for beautiful recitation. Mataji, we will okay, it's 9:44. Okay. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, assembled devotees ki jai. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. May I know who all are joined this morning?
Krishna Mataji, this is Balavrinda.
Hare Krishna Balavrinda, welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Vinita Mataji and Revati Mataji. From my friend.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasni Mataji, Dhanavat Pranamal, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nice to hear your sweet voice, Mataji. Welcome to the call.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Revati Mataji, Dhanavat Pranamal, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nice to hear your voice and chanting. And thank you so much for reciting 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranamo, glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji, Dhanavat Pranamal, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your sweet association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sudevi.
Hare Krishna Sudevi, Dhanavat Pranamal, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining and chatting so beautifully every day. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karnadevi Dasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karuna Mataji, Dhanavat Pranamal, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your sweet association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavat Pranams, glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtida Sundai.
Hare Krishna Kirtida Sundai Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Okay. Shall I start the recording? Mataji has already, Mataji is there. Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Before we start today's session, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today, 25th July. The spiritual signs become revealed to the devotee from within the heart according to the degree of his surrender to Krishna. 25th July 1970. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, once again, welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today, we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Kirtida Sundai Mataji to enlighten us on the topic of Caitanya Bhagavata Madhya khanda, chapter 2, 71 to 77 verses. Hare Krishna Kirtida Sundai Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Caitanya Bhagavat. I now hand over the call to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Thank you for your very, very kind welcoming. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for your valuable time and association. So we will start. Let's offer our invocation prayers and then we'll start with our Caitanya Bhagavata. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Panchatattvatakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktāya Tadbhaktāya Namo Namaha. Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hemavadivya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapadaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Ajanulambita bhujau karnakavadhatau sankirtanai kapitarau kamalayatakshav Vishwambarau Dvijavarau Yugadharmapalau Vande Jagat Priyakarau Karunavatarau Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirti Stasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Pritya Stasya Vishveshwamute Jayati Jayati Nityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam Mukam karoti vācālam bhangam langāyate giram yatkripaha tamaham vande Shri karoti natarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you once again for your valuable time and association. Hope my voice is audible. So, we are in this Caitanya Bhagavata Madhya khanda, chapter number 2. But before that, we'll do a quick recap of at least Madhya khanda, where we started off. So we saw that how Mahaprabhu, he performed his very mischievous activities in his childhood and of course in his boyhood. But then when Mahaprabhu, and then he performed his scholastic pastimes also. But in his scholastic pastimes, what Mahaprabhu was teaching was Sanskrit grammar. He used to indulge in all kind of various activities where Mahaprabhu will get into some tark and vitark, some arguments. He will pull out anybody from Navadvip and he'll make him sit and he'll say, now you do Shastrarth with me. You argue with me, have an argument, a spiritual argument. And everything what he will say, Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit will say, will all be based on Sanskrit grammar. Everybody in Navadvip was already very, very tired of the atheistic mentality and the materialistic mindset of the people. Here they have some hope for Nimai, but still Nimai was all into grammar things, into arguments, and they want to try to avoid Nimai's association. They don't want to get indulged into any kind of argument with Nimai, because as it is, it was very, very difficult for them to defeat Nimai into any kind of argument. But Nimai was so that he would simply get into some kind of argument with anybody, and he will not leave anybody. To an extent that these people were trying to avoid his association. Because they will say, Nimai, what is the use of you studying so much when you can't even understand that ultimately bhakti is everything? Ultimately performing devotional service to the Supreme Lord is everything. Why don't you understand this? Even we know in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in his Ante Leela, he quotes this verse from Hari Bhakti Vilas, where he says, Name bhaktas chaturvedi, mad bhakta swapacha priya, tasmai deham tato griham, sacha pujyo yathahiham. What does it mean? It means that Krishna says that Name bhaktas chaturvedi, even though a person who may be a learned scholar in Sanskrit, a greatest grammarian, but if that person is not engaged in the pure devotional service, then he is not accepted by my devotee. Name bhaktas chaturvedi, maybe he may be a chaturvedi, maybe he may be learned in all the 4 kind of Vedas. But if he is not involved in any kind of devotional service, he cannot be categorized as my devotee. Whereas mad bhakta swapacha priya, whereas if anybody who is born in the family of swapacha means dog eaters. Those who are born in the family of dog eaters, they may be a very lower class, but if they are performing my bhakti without any ulterior motive, without any thought process of any fruitive activity or any kind of mental speculation, tasmai deyam tato graham, then I accept that person as my devotee. Sacha pujyo yatha aham. And that devotee is indeed worshipable as I am. Means that devotee should be given an equal honor, equal respect as somebody gives it to me. So this is how the Lord says that my devotee is one who performs devotional service unto me, not just getting into any kind of arguments based on some Sanskrit scholarships. And this is what our Nimai was doing. Our Nimai was simply engaged into simple different kind of arguments, depicting his panditya, depicting his scholastic pastimes of being a great Sanskrit scholar. And the devotees in Navadvip were thinking, wish this Nimai could become a devotee, then the whole world will be changed. But nothing happened of that sort. And finally, we know that how Nimai, he went to Gaya, met Srila Ishvara Puripal, and got transformed to an extent that after coming back, when he was again sitting with his set of students to teach them Sanskrit grammar, now he's connecting every dhatu of Sanskrit towards Krishna. He's connecting everything, any part of Vyakarana of Sanskrit, he was connecting it to Krishna. And the students were perplexed. Students were thinking that how can we understand this? Everything he's bringing it to Krishna. It's not possible. We need to know about the real meaning of the dhatus of the Sanskrit grammar. But here Nimai is connecting everything to Krishna. And he's saying that it was very difficult for the students to understand that what is happening. And finally, they went to the teacher of Nimai, who was Gangadas Pandit, and they started complaining about Nimai, that this is what Nimai is teaching. Gangadas Pandit felt, he smiled because he knew where Nimai is leading up to. But then he called upon and he said, see, these students, they want to learn something from you. So just teach them as it is. Don't bring your own purports to it. So you don't have to do it. Just teach them whatever is required. And Nimai then said that anybody can come and again argue with me, but I can teach everything in relationship to Krishna. And that's what Mahaprabhu started teaching. But then, because the students were not getting satisfied, one day, Mahaprabhu, sitting on the banks of Ganga, closed all his books and he told that if you want to learn from me, what I am going to teach you is only Krishna consciousnness, anything that is related to Krishna. But if you want to know something else, then I give you my permission that you go ahead and accept anyone you want to be as the teacher. But I am going to teach whatever I have understood, whatever I have experienced. Why? Because wherever I see my Shyama Sundar, I see my Krishna. So you please go ahead and accept anyone as your teacher. And from here onwards, I cannot teach you. Feeling separation from Nimai, feeling separation from their teacher, all the students, they started crying and they said that no, we know that whatever you are teaching us is the highest. So we accept you. We don't want to accept any other teacher. Rather, you are the one who is giving us the right perspective, the right knowledge. So you please guide us. You please continue to guide us, and we will continue listening from you. And then Nimai, he felt very happy. He understood that these students have understood the real meaning of understanding these different Vedas, these different languages. but the ultimate is to know Krishna. Vedischa sarva aham eva vedya. Krishna says that if anybody understands Veda and doesn't understand me, then he or she has not read the Vedas. But if anyone who understands me doesn't need to read Vedas, because I am the essence of Vedas. So Mahaprabhu blessed all his students and he said, go, all of you take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, and may I bless you that may your mouth be always filled with Krishna Nam. Always and always your mouth is filled with Krishna Nam. Constantly chant Krishna's name. Always consider Krishna to be your life, your wealth, your everything. And whatever you have learned enough from me, that is enough. You don't need to know about the further studies. Just chant Krishna's name and everything will be known to you. Even in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, Jnanam teham savvijnanam idam vakshyami achetasa yat kyatva neha bhuyo nyaj kyatvanam avishyashate. Krishna says that I have declared you, Arjuna, whatever is the highest knowledge. I have given you this full knowledge, both phenomenal and numerous. Now, knowing this, nothing is to be known for you any further. So this is how they were told by Nimai that by the mercy, you have known the scriptures, you have known the purport of the scriptures and is revealed to you. Just like Vinita Gandharvika Mataji was reading the quote for Srila Prabhupada today, where Srila Prabhupada says that you don't need to put an extra endeavor to know the real conclusion or the essence of the scriptures. It's automatically going to be revealed to you by a pure devotee, provided if your heart is also pure. Similarly, here Nimai Pandit is also saying the same thing, that whatever you have learned is enough. There is nothing to be known to you any further. No further studies is required. By the mercy of Krishna, all the purports of the revealed scriptures will be revealed to you. Just chant Krishna's name. Consider Krishna to be your everything. And then students said, how should we do this Sankirtan? And Mahaprabhu said, chant Krishna's name, chant Hari, Yadava, Gopala, Govinda, Madhusudana, chant different names of Krishna in congregation. And then Mahaprabhu himself taught his students that how you should perform Sankirtan. Clap your hands while chanting and chant Krishna's glories. Everybody should be surrounded together and should chant Krishna's name. So this is how the first chapter of the Madhya Khanda ended. And now in the chapter 2, which is entitled The Lord's Manifestation at the House of Srivas Thakur, where he inaugurated the Sankirtan movement, begins, where Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, after paying his obeisances, glorified Mahaprabhu and said that when the devotees observed Mahaprabhu doing Sankirtan, they also started following Mahaprabhu's footsteps. And one final day, they all went to the house of Advaita Acharya and they said that Lord has incarnated. Because they told Advaita Acharya that this is how now Nimai Pandit is. He has fully engaged himself in chanting the glories of Krishna, in chanting different names of Krishna, and is also teaching the same to everyone. And Advaita Acharya understood that I, who have been calling upon the Lord, roaring loudly by worshipping my Shaligram Shila with Tulsi leaf and Ganga water, for which I have been doing these prayers, for which I have been doing this penances, that day has come, my Lord has incarnated. And immediately Advaita Acharya understood that now nobody can stop the glories, the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra to spread in different countries, towns, houses, villages. That devotional service, which is very, very rare even to the demigod like Lord Brahma, will now be available freely to anyone and everyone by the mercy of my Supreme Lord who has incarnated. And then Advaita Acharya told the students, told those people who came and told that this is the transformation they have seen in Nimai Pandit. And Advaita Acharya told them that once I had a dream. I had a dream where Krishna himself came and told me that I will take care. I have already incarnated. The glories of Hare Krishna will be spread through every town and village. And now he said that when I opened my eyes, I saw this Vishambhar, this Nimai standing right in front of me. But immediately, within a flick of a second, he soon disappeared from my sight. Then Advaita Acharya remembered that how Vishwarup, the elder brother of Nimai, would come and study Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam with him. And at that time, this little Nimai, this little Vishambhar would come and he would be so attractive to everyone who was sitting and learning Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And he would captivate the mind of everybody. But his purpose of coming would just to call his brother, because he comes on the request of Mother Shachi that go and call your elder brother Vishwarup from the house of Advaita Acharya. Everybody will see the beauty of the child. Their heart would be captivated and everybody would bless him that may you attain devotional service of the Lord. Advaita Acharya confessed that at that time he didn't understood, but now I have understood that this Nimai is the Supreme Lord for whom I have prayed. And by the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna, he has incarnated. And now because of him, the whole world will become intoxicated by the names of Krishna. And someone said that when Nimai Pandit becomes a devotee, then we will have tumultuous kirtan in the entire Navadvip, because they were waiting for Nimai to become a devotee, because he was so beautiful. He captivates everybody. He was such a scholar. But the only thing lacking was the devotional service. But now here, when Nimai was performing that devotional services, was performing Sankirtan, everybody was convinced that now the days will change of Navadvip. Somebody told that Nimai has, the transformation of Nimai is so and so that whenever he would go to take bath in the Ganges, previously he would disturb those Brahmanas who will chant in the water, half submerged, who will chant their Gayatris, and Nimai would trouble them by different means. But here, now, when Nimai goes and he himself takes bath in the Ganga, he respects those Brahmanas. He offers obeisances to them. He'll tell them that chant Krishna's name. Krishna is your father. Krishna is the mother. Krishna is everything. Worship Lord Shri Krishna. And they will be so pleased by hearing Nimai's word that automatically the blessings would come out from their mouth that, oh, you are explaining it so beautiful. So we are blessing you. We are blessing you that may you always become Krishna consciousness. And Nimai would say that it was because of all your blessings that have yielded now, that are certainly fruitful, because the benedictions given by the devotee is because of which the real purports are revealed in the heart. So he gives all the credits. Nimai would give all the credits to all the people there. And he would say, it's because of your blessings is what has transformed my heart. You alone are capable of awarding devotional service to Krishna. And by serving your lotus feet, Krishna is bestowing me all kind of mercy. So this way, Nimai would take care of them. Nimai would carry the clothes basket, the fruit basket, the flower basket for them. He would do some sort of menial services to all the people there. And everybody will restrict Nimai that don't do it. Don't do it. We just bless you that you become Krishna conscious. And he would say, it's all your blessings that have become fruitful. And that is the right message of today's session will be, that how one can understand the real purport of the revealed scriptures only by the blessings of the Vaishnavas. If the blessings of Vaishnavas are there, then Krishna automatically bestows one's mercy. Amara bhaktera puja ama haita baila say Prabhu Vede Bhagavate Kaila Dada. This is the verse from Caitanya Bhagavata only, where Krishna himself says that I have declared in the Vedas and Srimad Bhagavatam, what I have declared, that worship of my devotees is superior to worship of me. One should worship my devotees, and when you worship my devotees, I will become pleased. Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmad parataram devi tadiyanam samacharam. Lord Shiva told this to Mother Parvati, that, O Devi, aradhanam sarvesham, among all the aradhanas that we do, among all the worship that one perform, the worship of Vishnu aradhanam param. The worship of Vishnu is the highest. But then Mother Parvati thought that here I am, who is worshipping you, my Lord. I am not worshipping Vishnu. And then Shiva says, Tasmad parataram devi tadiyanam samacharam. However, the worship, above the worship of Lord Vishnu, is the rendering service to the Vaishnavas who are Tadiya, who are related to Lord Vishnu. And we know Lord Shiva is Param Vaishnava, right? So even Goddess Parvati, Durga, was also worshipping the Param Vaishnava. So he says that one who renders service to the Vaishnavas, their worship is higher than the worship of Lord Vishnu himself. And those who worship both the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master, all the Vedic imports of knowledge is quickly revealed. Yasya deve parabhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasyaita kathayartha prakashante mahatmana. One who offer one's respect to one's guru, one's spiritual master, and to the Supreme Lord, then there is no need of extra endeavor. Just like the Lord said, and just like today's purport was so apt, that immediately the knowledge will be revealed in the heart of a devotee. Krishna himself says in Srimad Bhagavatam, while giving the instructions to Uddhava, in his Uddhava Gita, he says, Mad bhaktya puja adivika sarva bhuteshu manamati. That worshipping of my devotee is better than directly worshipping me. So this is how time and again, to different purports, to different sections of the Vedas, you can take any Puranas, any Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavatam, time and again establishes this point that one should have no doubt about it, that one should worship the Vaishnavas, should consider the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord to be on the equal platform of the Supreme Lord. In Padma Puran also there is one quotation. I'll just read few quotations that I have taken out on this topic and then we'll move ahead. So in Padma Puran also there is a verse, Acharyatva tu govindam tadiya na acharyatuya nasa bhagavatognena kevalam dambhika smritaha, where he says that one who performs acharya itva tu govindam, one who performs worship of Lord Govinda, tadiya na acharetuya, but forget or fails to worship the devotees, Nasa Bhagavato Jana, then it should be understood that he is not a Bhagavat, he is not a devotee of the Lord. Then who is he? Kevalam Dambhika Smritiha. He is simply a victim of a false pride under which he is worshipping me. Because he is worshipping me, but he doesn't worship my devotee, can be understood that he is not my devotee. Tasmat sarva prayatnena vishvanan pujayat sada sarvam tarati dukkha augam mahabhagavatan acharyat. One should always worship the Vaishnavas by all means, and only then all the dukkha, all the miseries will be gone. One will be freed from all kind of miseries. Siddhir bhavati naveti samshaya achyuta sevinam Neh samshayastu tad bhakta parichatya tatmanam kevalam bhagavata pada sevaya vimalam manaha na jayate yatha nityam tad bhakta charanaranat. He says, Siddhir bhavati naveti. One will not attain any perfection, samshaya achyuta sevinam, if one is only attached to the worship of the Supreme Lord, and is not able to understand, having a doubt that how can a pure devotee be on the equal platform of Lord Shri Krishna. If anybody has that doubt, then that person will not achieve the highest perfection of one's service, will not attain perfection. One's mind is not fully purified by serving the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, as it is by serving the feet of his devotees. Kevalam Bhagavat Pad. If we are only worshipping Bhagavat Pad, only worshipping the lotus feet of Krishna, then our heart will be not pure. Sevaya vimalam manaha na jayate yatha nityam tad bhakta charanajat. If you want your heart to be vimalam, to be purified, then you have to worship, serve the lotus feet of the devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. Even Lord Shri Krishna told this to Arjuna, Ye me bhakta jana partha, na me bhakta ste janaha, mat bhakta nam cha ye bhakta ste me bhakta nam mataha. That those who are devoted to me, they are not my real devotees. But those who are the devotees of my devotees, I count them to be the greatest devotees. Even Prahlad Maharaj says, Mahiyasham pado rajo abhishekam, then one should do abhishek, take bath in the lotus, in the water that has washed the lotus feet of the pure devotees. One should smear one's body with the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees of the Lord. Only then one can understand the real purport of the Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam also, in the pastimes of Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, where Amrish Maharaj was being offended by Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni was really going from planet to planet, from loka to loka to save himself. And finally, he landed up in Vishnu Loka, where he asked for forgiveness. But Vishnu says, Aham bhakta paradhino, hiya santadra hitviva dvija, sadhu bhir grahastor deo, bhaktir bhakta jana priya. That, O Durvasa Muni, O Dvija, O Brahmana, I have nothing to do. I am completely under the control of my devotees. I am not independent. Yes, in the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it says he is abhigna swarat. He is all cognizant. He is independent. But here he says, Aham bhakta paradhina, that I am totally controlled by the love of my devotees. I am under the control of the devotees. And I sit in the heart of those pure devotees. Why do I sit? Because sadvo hridayam mayam sadhu nam hridayam tavanyam mad anyate na janati naham tebhyo managapi. Why? Because they, the pure devotees, have captured me in their heart. And because they have captured me in their heart, I have also been captured by them. I am the one who reside in their heart. So devotees, they don't know anything else as beside me. And so I don't know anything beside them. So if you want any kind of protection, then you have to reach out to my devotee. Then Krishna says, what to speak of in of my devotee? Even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me. Therefore we say, Das, 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 Anudas. Therefore Mahaprabhu taught us, Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayo Das, Das, Anudas. That should be our real identity. Otherwise, that's not our real identity. Our real identity is that we are servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So this is how Mahaprabhu was teaching. And this is how everybody in Navadvip were convinced that here Mahaprabhu's heart has totally transformed. He would collect some kushagras, some clay from the Ganges for someone. He would sometimes carry a basket of flowers for someone. This way, Mahaprabhu was daily acting as the servant of his own servants and would offer some menial services for the sake of his devotees. And time and again, our scriptures have revealed this, that how Krishna takes his menial position, such a menial position for his devotees. He acted as a peace messenger for Pandavas. He acted as the Sarathi for Arjuna. It was not easy. It's not an easy thing to be a menial servant. In this today's material world, if we see, just being a servant of someone materialistically means that you have to sell yourself. But here Krishna is voluntarily becoming a sold out servant to his pure devotees. So even we see that in the example of Bhishma Dev, that how Bhishma Dev, Krishna promised that he would not take up any weapon while participating in the battle between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. But at that time, Bhishma Dev said that I also made a promise that I would make him pick up a weapon. And Krishna was so affectionate to his devotees that in order to keep my promise intact, he broke his own promise. He got down from the chariot. He took his supremely powerful disc, the chariot wheel, and he rushed towards me as if a lion is attacking an elephant. So we see that how Krishna can go to any extent to prove the words of his devotees. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I'm not going to say any words. I'm not going to make any promise because I have been known that I break my own promise. So therefore, Arjuna, you declare, Kaunteya pratijani name bhakta pranishyati. O Arjun, you declare that my devotees will never perish. Those who have taken supreme shelter unto me, they will never perish. And because now I'm telling you to declare this statement, therefore I will be forced to keep up to your promise, the promise you have made to the world. Because if I make promise, I'm known to break it. Time and again, I have broken my promises. But if my devotee promises something, then I'm bound to take care of it. To an extent where even the devotee gives boons to all these different asuras. We have seen that how Lord Shiva, being so Ashutosh, gives his boons left, right, and center to everybody without even noticing the side effect of it. Even Brahma, he gave so many boons to Hiranyakashipu, practically making him invincible. But still, Krishna, somehow or other, to take care of to respect, to protect the boons that has been given by these different demigods, he will incarnate in different forms. He will make the boons also intact, and he will also destroy the asuras. And we know the classic example that how when Hiranyakashipu was being awarded these different boons by Brahma, Krishna has to come as Lord Nrsingadev, the avatar which have never been heard or seen, na bhuto na bhavishyato. But Krishna came as Lord Nrsingadev just to protect the boon that is being given by Brahma, and also to protect his pure devotee Prahlad and to annihilate this asura Hiranyakashipu. So this is how Krishna takes care of his devotees. Krishna becomes subservient to his devotees. There's a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that comes in the Damodar Leela pastimes, where this verse goes like this: Evam sandarshita yanga harina bhritya vashyata swavashenapi krishnena yashedam seshwaram vashe. Yes, it's a very beautiful verse that comes in the Damodar Leela pastimes, where finally Mother Yashoda was able to bind Krishna with the ropes. But she was not able to bind Krishna with merely the ropes, but with the love of her devotion, because that's what is being seen by Krishna. Our acharyas explain that when Mother Yashoda was tying Krishna, every time the rope was 2 fingers short, because the different Shaktis, the different Vibhutis of Krishna was not allowing Mother Yashoda to bind Krishna. How can they allow their master to be bound by someone? So different Vibhutis of Krishna were coming in front and were not allowing Mother Yashoda to tie. But finally, seeing the greatest endeavor in Mother Yashoda, the heart of Krishna got melted. He became subservient, seeing the devotion of Mother Yashoda. And finally, Krishna's Kripa Shakti came forward, subsiding all other Shaktis, all other Vibhutis. And when Kripa Shakti came, when the mercy aspect of Krishna came, Mother Yashoda was able to bind Krishna with the ropes of devotion, with the rope of his sincerity, with the rope of her efforts, with the ropes of her endeavor, with the ropes of her devotion. She was able to bind Krishna. So Sukadev Goswami here says, Evam sandarshita hi anga. O anga, he's addressing to Parikshit Maharaj, that supreme personality of Godhead, Harina, who is Bhritya Vashyata. This is one of the topmost quality of the Supreme Lord. When somebody asks us different qualities, we say different qualities of Krishna. We say different vibhutis of Krishna. We say different sweet qualities, that how he is non-envious, he is not partial, he is so loving, he is a well-wisher, he is a true friend, he is a master, he is a controller, he is a proprietor. We say so many qualities, but the topmost qualities that supersedes all these qualities of Krishna is Krishna's quality of being Bhritya Vashyata. Vashyata means to become subordinate, to become controlled by his Bhritya, by his servants. So when Krishna is become subordinate to his servitor, to his devotee, at that time, that is the highest quality that Krishna can depict. And that Krishna, who is Swavashena pi Krishnena, that Krishna who is always under control of his own self, because he's Swarat, he's Abhigna Swarat. But that Krishna who is always the proprietor, the controller, the maintainer, becomes subordinate to his devotee. And not only that, when Mother Yashoda bound Krishna, what she bound? She bounds the Udara, the belly of Krishna. That belly in which the entire material existence exists. Not only one Brahman, but millions, crores and crores of Brahmans, millions and millions of Brahmans are there in the belly of Krishna. Mother Yashoda was able to bound that belly with the ropes of her devotion. So even the demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and Lord Indra, they were under the control of Mother Yashoda. Why? Because she was able to bind Krishna. She was able to bind Krishna. So this is the purport. This is the understanding that one should have. And this is the understanding that our verses are being shown, that it's very difficult to understand Krishna. But if somebody is in pure love with Krishna, always offer their devotion to Krishna, then they can bind Krishna. And this is how Vishwambar was depicting that you all are devotees of Krishna. I have no credit. You all are devotees of Krishna. And because I offer all my respects and services to you, and then you out of love give me the heartfelt blessings, is what make me a devotee. That's what Vishwambar is saying. And devotees are profusely blessing Mahaprabhu, blessing Nimai and saying, Bhaja Krishna, Smara Krishna, Suna Krishna Nam, Krishna Hau Sabara Jivana Dhana Pran. That worship Krishna, remember Krishna, hear the names of Krishna, and let Krishna be your life and wealth. This way Mahaprabhu was profusely being benedicted by the Navadvip Vasis. So we will start our session now, and I'll share the screen and we'll read the verses that have been assigned today. Yeah, it's from verse number 71, but we'll read few verses back in order to set the context. So here he says, my dear, all the great sannyasis, ascetics, the learned scholars that reside in Navadvip never explain this purport of the scriptures is to glorify Krishna. Rather, they constantly engage in blasphemy. All the sinful listeners were captivated by their words, and therefore they consider us no better than straw. This is the devotees who are saying. Therefore, dear Vishwambara, intense sorrow is constantly burning our bodies, for we never hear the propagation of the chanting of Krishna's holy name. So all these Navadvip Vasis are expressing their pitiful situation to Vishwambara, that how their heart was yearning was for chanting Krishna's names, but they were being forbidden to do so. And now they want to do it. And they were having full hope on Vishwambara, that because he has transformed now, so nobody can stop the Krishna name to flourish in every town and village. Now Krishna has exhibited his pleasure with everyone. So he has admitted you on this path. On this path, which path? On the path of devotional service to Krishna. Text 72. Toma haite hai bike pashindira shaya manate amara hiya bhujino nishchaya. Navadvip Vasis are saying, we are confident that now all the atheists will be vanquished by you, because you have started your Sankirtan movement by chanting Krishna's name. So they are blessing Nimai. They are saying, Chirajivi haya tumi laha Krishna naam toma haite vyakta ho Krishna gunagram. Therefore, O Nimai, live forever and chant the holy names of Krishna, laha Krishna naam. Reveal the qualities of Krishna to everyone. Reveal kahau Krishna gunagram. Reveal the qualities of Krishna. We bless you, we benedict you, that may you live forever and chant Krishna's name forever. Bhakta Shirvad Prabhu Shire Kari Laya Bhakta Ashirvada se Krishnat Bhakti Haya. The Lord accepted the devotee's blessings on his head. And he said that for the devotee's blessings only, one can obtain the devotion of Krishna. And this was the theme that we spent for 30-45 minutes, that how the Krishna's blessings will come only through his devotees' blessings. And one can obtain devotion to Krishna only by the blessings of Krishna's devotees. Text 75. Shuniya bhaktera dukha prabhu vishvambhara prakashete haita chita haila savatara. On hearing about the devotees' distress, so this is how all the devotees of Navadvip were complaining and explaining their pitiful situation to Vishwambhara. And Lord Vishwambhara desired to quickly manifest himself. Prabhu kahe tumhi saba Krishna radayita, tumhara ya bala se hai be nishchita. Prabhu kahe, the Lord said, tumhi sabha Krishna radayita. Daita means very, very dear. You are very, very dear to Krishna. You all affectionate devotees are very, very dear to Krishna. So, tumhara se bala, tumhare bolne se matra se, whatever you say, because your words have that strength, because you are very, very daita, very, very dear to Krishna. So, whatever you say will surely, without any doubt, is sure to happen. So, whatever you say will undoubtedly happen. That means all the atheists will be wiped off and Krishna now would be established in the entire Navadvip. Dhanya mora jivana tomhara bala bhala, tomhara va khaine le grahaste narakala. My life is glorious. Dhanya mora jivana. Here, see now how Vishwambar, how Nimai, how the Supreme Lord himself is saying that my life is glorious. I have become dhanya because of your words. Tumhara bala bhala, because of your sweet, kind words. My life has become glorious. Tomara vakhanele, grahaste nare kala. Even the personification of death, even the Yamraj, even the grahas cannot attack now and cannot transgress your words. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur in his purport writes, the word vakhanile refers to glorifying Krishna, discussing the qualities of Krishna, and word grashate refers to devour or to attack. The word kala refers to the age of Kali, which is full of faults, Yamaraj, death or material existence. The fact that chanting Krishna's holy names removes the fear of time is explained by Lord Kapila Dev, where Kapila Dev says, my dear mother, devotees who receive such transcendental opulences are never bereft of them. Neither weapons nor the change of time can destroy such opulences. Why? Because the devotees accept me as their friend, as their relative. Yesham aham priya atma sutascha. They refer me, accept me as their friend, as their relative, as their son, as their preceptor, as their benefactor, as the supreme deity. Therefore, they cannot be deprived of their possessions at any time. The fact that Krishna's chanting's holy name removes the fear of death or material existence is explained by Srila Sutta Goswami. Apana samsritam ghoram yan nam vishvashograham tatha sadhya vimuchyate tad bibeti swayam bhayam. That living entities who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death, in the samsara chakra taking birth again and again, can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna. So see, the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. So just see, some people ask that, do Nama Parad also yield result? Yes, Nama Parad also yield results. Nama Bhas also yield results. Then what to talk about Shuddha Nam? What to talk about the devotees who chant Shuddha Nam, constantly engage themselves 24/7, in whose tongue, in whose mouth, in whose tongue Krishna name always dances. What to talk about them? So Nama Prad can give some material benefits, some fruitive benefits. But Nama Bhas, unconsciously chanting Krishna's name, can also free us from this complicated meshes of birth and death. In Agni Bhuta Stava in the Kashi Khanda, it is stated, Narayaneti, Narkarana Varna eti, Damodareti, Madhueti, Chaturbhujeti, Vishvarambhareti, Varajeti, Janardhaneti, Kashti hai Janman, Japatam, Kukrutanatibhi, means Narayaneti, O Narayan. Naraka Aranava, Aranava means ocean. Hellish ocean of miserable life. This is also the name of Krishna. O Narayana, O deliverer from the hellish ocean of material life. Damodareti, O Damodar, Madhueti, O the killer of Madhu demon. Chaturbhujeti, O Chaturbhuja. Vishvambhareti, O Vishvambhara. Virajeti, O spotless one. Janardhanetik, O Janardhana. How one will take another birth if we constantly addresses you by these names. So this is how, when one who constantly chant Krishna's names, one whose tongue always Krishna's name dances, then definitely there is no so-called suffering, there is no so-called taking birth again and again in this hellish condition of life. Now then someone may ask, then why do devotees suffer? Right? The question asks, because it says that the devotees are above and beyond of all those sufferings. Then why the devotees suffer? Because we see that devotees suffer. Pandavas suffered, Draupadi suffered, Prahlad Maharaj suffered, Haridas Thakur suffered. But those sufferings, what we see as a suffering, is not a suffering. It's Krishna personally intervening in their life and taking care of them. And that's what Krishna does. That's the best quality of Krishna, that he is Bhritya Vashyataha. He becomes subservient and controlled by devotees. We see Pandavas suffering, but were really Pandavas suffering? The Pandavas not suffering, because they were experiencing Krishna's hands at every step of their life. We consider Draupadi was suffering when she was attempted to be stripped naked in front of Kurus. But at that time, what Draupadi did, Draupadi took 100% surrenderance to Krishna. None of them was able to help her. She called upon Krishna, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. She called upon Krishna, and Krishna provided unlimited sari and protected her chastity. We see Prahlad Maharaj suffering. He was being tortured by his own father so many times. But really Prahlad Maharaj was suffering? No. His conviction was deepened by those suffering because he was seeing Krishna's hand everywhere. We see Haridas Thakur being beaten up mercilessly by those Yavana soldiers in those 22 marketplaces. But Haridas Thakur was not suffering. Rather, he was simply chanting Krishna's name more intensely, praying that Krishna, please forgive these Yavana soldiers. So what we see suffering in the life of devotees is actually not suffering. Is actually Krishna personally intervening in their life to prove himself that his best quality is Bhakta Vashyata, that he is always conquered with the devotion and love of his devotees. We see that how even when His Holiness Kadam Kanand Swami, he left his body because of that cancer, that 4th stage cancer. which was so difficult. If it would have come to some materialistic person, that person would have been bewildered, would have been perplexed to deal with that situation. But His Holiness Kadam Kanand Swami Maharaj took it so nicely, took it so positively. Somebody asked Kadam Kanand Maharaj that, have you seen Krishna? He said, I don't know whether I've seen Krishna, but I've seen Krishna's hand in every situation of my life. So this is the realization that a devotee gets. But that realization can only be there when the devotees surrender to Krishna and to Krishna's devotees. Then Mahaprabhu gives his mercy. When that surrenderance is there, right? Dainya Atma Nivedana Goprite Varana Avashe Rakshibe Krishna Vishwasa Palana Bhakta Anukula Matra Karyera Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjana Gikara. These are the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur is reminding time and again that these are the 6 limbs of Sharanagati that one should try to follow. But then he says, Shadanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jahara Tahara Prarthana Shune Shri Nanda Kumar. So Nanda Kumar, our Krishna, who is Nanda Nandan, can only hear our prayers when there is Sharanagati. Sharanagati like Draupadi, Sharanagati like Haridas Thakur, Sharanagati like Pandavas, Sharanagati like Kunti Maharani. Then Jahara Prarthana, Shadanga Sharanagati Thoibe Jahar, wherever that kind of surrenderance is there, Tahara Prarthana Shune Shri Nanda Kumar. Then Krishna will always hear the prayers of his devotees. So thank you all so much. We'll stop here. It's already 11:58 now. Thank you for all of your association. And one disclaimer that I will say, that it's very easy to sit on a chair and to speak about Sharanagati, Sharanagati of Draupadi, Sharanagati of Pandavas, Sharanagati of Kunti Maharani. But it's extremely difficult to follow, especially when the life throws reversals on us. It's very, very difficult. His Holiness Radhanath Swami says, I heard once in one of his class, that everyone is under the control of devotees, whether it may be non-devotees or devotees. The non-devotees are controlled by Krishna only, through his Maya Shakti, through his Bahiranga Shakti. And the devotees are also controlled by Krishna only, through his Antaranga Shakti, through his internal potency. Because the pure devotees have taken Devim Ashrita, has taken the shelter of Krishna. So therefore, everybody is under Krishna. Everybody is under control of Krishna. Devotees realize it, non-devotees don't realize it. So His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj used to say that, accept yourself devotee, accept Krishna to be as your extremely well-wisher, a true friend. And that way, you will always be surrendered to Krishna. So thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Caitanya Bhagavata ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Thakur. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. What a beautiful class, Mataji. Thank you so much for such a sweet class. I really like one point in the beginning. You are talking about how the devotion does not need any qualification in outside world. You go and try to do anything. Okay, they will see what's your qualification. And then only they will take you into that particular job or something, like even in the school, because they will check you and then only they will admit take you in the school. So, but the devotion is this: Krishna does not check any qualification. And also you said that how much surrender, like how Srila Prabhupada's quote for today was, how much ever we surrender to Krishna, that much Krishna will make us understand. And we don't need to have any qualification, just that love for Krishna, that surrender, that's what we needed, and not reading of these Vedas and all. Yeah, we need to read the scriptures to understand him, but not that is only the means to understand Krishna. That was really very beautiful, Mataji. And your summary from Madhya Khanda, it really helped us to understand where we are today. Really such a sweet class, Mataji. Thank you so much. We have the raised hands. We will go the raised hands. Anita Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundai Mataji. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. She is about Sharanagati. So you were saying that the Lord, when the devotees are suffering, it's the mercy of the Lord which is pouring upon the devotees. Like you gave examples of Pandavas, Haridas Thakur, and even Prabhupada also. So yes, we understand, but when we I'm saying about the normal materialistic life, like about myself, I can say. So when we are suffering, we immediately we pray to the Lord, why so much suffering is there? Every now and then, one after another, it's coming. Oh, how am I? Like we have the perspective to handle, but still we are depending on the Lord. Like the Lord only gives us that perspective to handle. We are knowing that, but still we are praying that why this suffering is coming at this point to me. When will this go? Why we have to ask these questions? Why we are asking such questions to the Lord, Mataji? So is it that we are not having the faith on the Lord?
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. You are asking the wrong question, right question to a wrong person. Because I myself gets really disheartened when any kind of problem comes. But that's why I say it's easy to say than to practice. That practice will also come through now. The more we chant, the more we surrender to Krishna, the more we realize it. Problems will come. Problems will not stop. This place is Dukkhalayam. It's named as Dukkhalayam. It's not named as US. It's not named as India. It's not named as Dubai. It's just named as Dukkhalayam. This place is a place of misery. No matter whether you are a devotee or you are not a devotee, the problems will come. But in the life of a devotee, Krishna personally intervenes and Krishna personally takes care. Because Krishna says, I'm impartial, but those who take shelter of me, I am in them and they are in me. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvaham Sarvabhuteshu, Name Dveshasti Na Priya. I don't envy anybody. I'm impartial. But those who surrender unto me, those who are my devotees, I am in them and they are in me. So yes, that's the understanding a devotee should have. That problems will come and there is no harm in going to Krishna and saying that Krishna, problems have come. I don't know what is there, what future beholds for me. I don't know how this all is going to be taken care of. But I know that you are there. You are there to take care of my thing. His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj would always say in his class, दुख हमारा बड़ा है, but रक्षक हमारा तगड़ा है. That yes, our suffering is very big. It's a huge suffering. But we have to always remind ourselves that our Lord is much more higher than the problems that we have. Problems may be great, but our Supreme Lord is much more great than him, great than that problem. So if we keep reminding ourselves, it's not like you said that there is no faith in Krishna. Faith is there, Mataji. If faith is not there, then why we cry in front of Krishna that I am suffering? We cry in front of Krishna that please remove sufferings because we love him and we know that he is there. And we know that our immediate, ultimate cause can be anybody. But the ultimate cause is Krishna himself. So we praying to Krishna, we crying towards Krishna, in front of Krishna to solve our problems, it also shows our faith. There is no harm in crying in front of Krishna. But don't put any conditions on Krishna. Krishna will take care. The problems will come. Krishna will take care sooner or later. But that picture will be clear to us maybe much more later. Because Krishna knows the better picture. We just know tidbits here and there. And Krishna knows the bigger picture for why and what purpose the sufferings came on us. Another thing is, when suffering comes, when our Acharya says that Krishna personally intervenes, means that Krishna wants to intensify our bhajan. Means that we have become complacent in our Krishna consciousness. At that time, suffering comes on us to remind us that just move ahead of your complacency to urgency. Because now is the urgency that yes, only shelter is Krishna, no one else. So this is what I can say. But as I said, easy said than done. So
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. That was really very valuable answer, which I was looking for. And the way you deliver is really like a river flow, like slowly when the river is, the waves of the river. So it's really very wonderful to hear also. So one more thing, Mataji, when we are kept mocked by others, we tolerate to some extent, but to some after that, it's like, okay, this is not going to be stand. So this won't stand anymore. So we just react to that. So that reaction causes sins, Mataji.
that reaction will cause aparadh, not sins. That reaction will call aparadh. Somebody is doing something. I was hearing one Brajvasi recently only, and he was saying that if somebody causes you some pain and you react, then there is no need of reacting, because that reaction will further bound you in this material existence. Because when you react, that means you take charge of yourself. That means you sit on the driver's seat. But if you tolerate, tatyanukampam susikshamanu, but when you tolerate, then Krishna sits on the driver's seat. And then you become just a passenger. Enjoy the ride. So that Brajvasi was also saying that don't react. Let that equation be between them and Krishna. Let Krishna handle. You just take the sideway and do your bhajan.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Darshini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. Mataji, I'm sorry I'm not switching on my video because there's heavy rain here and there's network issue.
No worries, Mataji.
Yeah, a few points I really liked from the class. One is you were telling that pure devotees capture Krishna in their heart, right? And Krishna becomes completely controlled by them. I was also remembering this thing told by Prabodhananda Saraswati, that, when will that day come when Krishna will throw his flute and peacock feather at my feet and, request me and beg me to go and meet Srimati Radharani, and I will tell no. So that's what I remembered, that, the Braj Bhav, the level of love everyone has for Krishna, Krishna completely comes under their control willingly. I mean, we are not even unwillingly, we don't even allow someone to control us, but Krishna willingly comes under the control of pure devotees. So that was one thing that I remembered. And also you were telling the power of a devotee's promise, right? So I was also remembering that Srila Prabhupada also came to take all of us back. So although we may not deserve it, but if we follow Srila Prabhupada completely, then Srila Prabhupada's promise will force Krishna to take us back to him. So that was one thing I was reflecting on. And also you were telling that most important quality of Krishna is to be ready to be bound by his devotees. And I think I should also be able to accept that and implement that in my life also, that I should also be able to be completely controlled by my guru. So that is one, one aim, one consequence of taking shelter that I should be able to implement in my life. And also sometimes we regret our past so much, but thinking that we have done all this and we never deserve this, it's also important for me to reflect that in so many lifetimes there would have been so many devotees who would have prayed for me, right? That let me become a devotee. There would have been so many devotees in this lifetime. We have so many devotees praying for us, and we don't know in previous lifetimes how many devotees would have prayed for us. We can't even go back and tell them that, yes, your prayers have fructified. Thank you so much. So that amount of indebtedness should always remain in me. So that was one reflection that I was working on. And also, just like, when, although there were like so many devotees, but when Nimai became a devotee, everyone said that, now because Nimai has become a devotee, Harinam will spread worldwide. So on the power of one Nimai, everyone said that. And Srila Prabhupada, just as one devotee, just as one Acharya, he empowered the whole world to chant Harinam. So I was reflecting on that. And also, talking on reversals, I was remembering even Sakubai's example. And that, she had no one else to call her except Vithal. And her intensity was so much that it compelled Vithal to come down and, switch places with her and let her go to Pandharpur to see Pandrinath. And when she came back and told that, see, Rukmini told me all this, Vithal's response was not that, I am bound by your love and all. He said, this is the minimum that I can do for a devotee of your caliber. That lifetime after lifetime, I am indebted to you. So that was something that I remembered. And I think that's like pure love, right? We can't even imagine the level of that love that, exists between a devotee and the Lord. And it also gives a lot of hope that, someday that day will also be ours, when we will also go and see Radha Krishna. We will also go see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Ram Prabhu. And we will also be able to serve them in real. Like, now we are working towards it, but someday when we are like, feeling down and we are feeling hopeless, this one thought that, yes, one day that will also happen. I will also see Radha and Krishna. That is going to be like, a very great motivation for someone like me, at least. And also, for the conclusion, I would, really tell that, thank you so much for mentioning His Holiness Radha Govind Goswami Maharaj's, classic line that Jeevan hamara bigda hai, rakshak hamara tagda hai. So, like, that is perfect, quote for people in Kali Yuga, that, no matter how fallen we are, no matter how spoiled we are, we still have hope. Krishna can never reject us. We may have, turned away from Krishna lifetime after lifetime, but Krishna can never reject us. So thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat pranam, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Darshini Mataji, for your beautiful realizations. All you said is so true. That yes, Krishna will take care. And that day will come. That day will come. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yes,
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam, Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful class. And I have some little doubts, Mataji.
But I want to know that though we are chanting, no, you said Krishna will take care of this. We are believing in the chanting and believing in that nama and everything. But sometimes, this people surrounding us and loud ones also are criticizing us. That is the thing I want to. That time I'm getting something, anger is coming. Then I will tell myself, you control yourself, control the anger from that. That is the one thing. Another thing I want to know, that 6 limbs of Sarnagati you told, Mataji, you please explain to that one.
Yes, Mataji. So as you said, when you are being criticized, even though when you are chanting and then some anger comes and then you yourself tell that I have to tolerate, I don't have to get angry. That's how we progress, Mataji. That's the real thing that we should do. We cannot expect that on a very first day we'll become a pure devotee after chanting. This realization coming, that when we are reminding our mind not to get angry, itself shows that chanting is working.
Yes, Mataji.
Right? Otherwise, we'll immediately become angry. But when we are able to press that pause button, means it's because of chanting. When we are reflecting, we are responding to the situation and not reacting. So slowly, as and more we take Krishna name, as and more we chant, as we do our devotional service, these realizations will come and will help us to progress more and more. So the day will come. The day will come when Shuddh Naam will be uttered by us. But Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Keep reminding to press pause button. Sometimes we forget, consequences are high, but at that time also, we have to take the shelter of Krishna's holy name. That's the only way. Regarding your second question about the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, it's been explained by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote these 6 limbs in his beautiful song, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jiva Daya Kori, Swaparshad Sviya Dhama Saha Avatari, where he describes the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. First is Dainya. Dainya means humility. Second is Atmanivedanam. Atmanivedanam means surrendering 100%, just like Draupadi, just like Bali Maharaj, where we come to a conclusion that nothing is working, no process is working, no person is able to help us, and that is what is Atmanivedanam. That we fully, with our whole mind, body, soul, with our body, mind, and words, we surrender to Krishna. Third is Gopritya Varna. Gopritya Varna means understanding that Krishna is my maintainer. Krishna is my master. Krishna is my maintainer. Anything can happen only because of Krishna's will. And Krishna will maintain me. Krishna is maintaining everybody. We feed food to our pets, dogs, cats. But see how much Krishna is feeding to so many millions of species. They are there in jungles, in forests, and roads. Who is taking care of them? Krishna is taking care of them. Krishna is taking care of each and every species of how much quantity of food they need every day to survive. Whether it may be an elephant in a jungle, whether it may be a python, or whether it may be a small insect or a bird. So Gopritya Varna, Krishna maintains. Then fourth is Avashya Rakshive Krishna. That faith we should have, that Krishna will protect me. Problems will come. The problems will not end. But how to deal with those problems, that intelligence will be given to by Krishna. How to face those problems, that strength will be given to us by Krishna. So Avashya Rakshive Krishna. This is the fourth limb of Sharanagati. Fifth limb is Bhakti Anukula Karya Rasvika. When we accept what is favorable to our Krishna consciousness. something that is favorable to Krishna consciousness, we accept it. Then bhakti pratikula varjanagika means something which is not favorable to our Krishna consciousness, whether it may be a food, whether it may be a place, whether it may be a association, whether it may be anything. Something which is not favorable, which is not in alignment to my Krishna consciousness, I should reject it. So these are the 6 limbs. Again, first is humility. Second is Atmanivedanam, fully surrender, having faith that Krishna is my everything, so I have to surrender. Third is Krishna is my maintainer. Fourth is Krishna will protect me in whatever circumstances I am in. Fifth is accepting whatever is favorable to in my Krishna consciousness. And sixth limb is rejecting what is not favorable in my Krishna consciousness. Hope that helps.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for beautiful question and answer session. Oh, we have one more raise hand again. Darshini Mataji, you have again realizations. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I just had a question that, a follow-up of Karpagavalli Mataji's question. Sometimes when it happens to me that, even loved ones are criticizing, sometimes I feel that, in my past or in my past lives, even I may have done it to some devotee, so it's happening to me. So, but at one point of time, I also feel that, even if they are my loved ones, they are coming with me for only this lifetime, right? But Krishna is coming with me for many lifetimes. So is it a toxic feeling to regard someone as, they're coming only for this lifetime, right? So, we'll keep them aside. Is it a toxic feeling or is it a right kind of consciousness?
Not a
I
toxic
just wanted to
feeling.
know.
It's not a toxic feeling, Mataji, at all. Rather, this is the right understanding we should have. That my ultimate well-wisher is Krishna. All these people who I think will stand in my reversals might turn their face or turn their back towards me. But my Krishna will never. Krishna will never. Example is Draupadi. How much she cried. She cried to her husband. She cried to Bhishma Pitama. She cried to Vidura. Anybody was able to come and help? No. Ultimately, the finest surrenderances she made to Krishna. And Krishna, without even thinking for a second, immediately came. So this is not a toxic feeling. Rather, it's the right feeling to understand that Krishna is my ultimate well-wisher. But this feeling should not hamper our relationship with anybody. You getting my point? This feeling should not come in our way when it comes to showing respect or love to others. At that time, we should not think, oh, why should I respect him? Why should I take care of him? Just for one lifetime, let me just chant and let me just please Krishna. No, Krishna says that one who pleases my devotee actually pleases me. So we should try to understand that yes, that person may or may not be devotee at this time. Maybe time is just separating them to become a devotee, but they can become much more higher devotee than me. So when it comes to show our respect, our love, we should not have that feeling. But when it comes of expecting any love and care, that time we should have only faith on Krishna. Hope that helps.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. We have some chat realizations, Mataji. Hope you read them.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank
Hare
you so much. Thank you so much for such a heartfelt, such a beautiful class. I was missing this. After some break, you're back, and it feels so good. Such profound realizations. When you speak from the heart, it just goes directly inside. It is so nice, Mataji, your class. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like the way you were describing the relationship between Krishna and his devotees, and how Krishna takes full control of the lives of his devotees, and how he's always there. The mood of Sharanagati, the principle behind it, how this world, we are going to face everything. But it is only the faith in Krishna that ultimately stays with us. Such a beautiful class, right from out of your heart. I just enjoyed the class so much today, Mataji. Yeah, we feel like we found water in a desert. That's how we feel after a long break when you come back. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, we love your classes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Preeti Vyasni Mataji. And thank you, everyone. I'll just offer one thing, that please pray. Please pray that whatever I spoke, which was very easy to speak, but very difficult to imbibe, may also I be able to imbibe with my life, with whatever I spoke. Thank you so much. Please pray for me. Offer your prayers for me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for such a beautiful class. And I really like the question and answers more than the class. The question and answers were very practical, that we are day to day facing and how to handle that. Thank you so much, Mataji, for explaining us very detailedly how Krishna is always there. He's the one only ultimate protector for us. We don't have to run to this person, that person who help me, help me. Just sit in front of Krishna, cry, and Krishna will definitely hear to us. And he is the only one to help us, right? Why do we need to ask many people, can you help me? Can you help me? And ultimately, he's the one going to help us. Thank you. Yeah, what do you want to say? Vrinda want to say something, Mataji. She is here at home.
Okay, I wanted to say that whenever Demai was bathing in the Ganges, he used to juggling the brahmanas. But then after that, whenever he would become big, when he was doing it all by himself, he always used to say that you should worship Krishna.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then they used to give blessings. I really liked that point you said, Mataji, and I liked how you said that they were really happy whenever Nimai appeared.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vrinda. Yes, Nimai was very naughty. He would trouble all the Brahmanas. And that time Brahmanas will become very, very angry. But later the same Nimai, when was serving them, the same Brahmanas, same people were blessing Nimai, benedicting Nimai. Very nice. Thank you, Vrinda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So if there are no more questions or realizations, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to Mataji and all the devotees assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namananta koti vaishnav vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. Tanu pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dhanavad.
Dear devotees, we'll be ending the call here. Did someone have to say something? Sorry.